Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm back down at the garden center today to give you a slow kind of walkthrough tour of all the houseplants that they have inside. Standing outside right now in the nursery, and it's actually really beautiful today. It was really chilly when I got up and I thought, oh, this is a perfect morning to run down. They're usually slower in the mornings, just to give you guys a look. This whole video comes because of the overwhelming amount of requests we got on our Christmas decorating video from down here, because I gave you a little quick tour of plants through just the sunroom portion, and so many of you guys were like, oh, we would love just to take a slow walk through, really take our time and look at all the plants, and I thought that sounded like a really fun idea. So real quick, while we're outside, this is a new door they just had installed. Right inside used to be offices, and now it's actually retail area. It's so nice because the street that they're on is actually fairly busy, and this has been the entrance to the nursery forever. But it's nice to have access into the store. They've got some really pretty things, really beautiful evergreens. They do a lot in terms of live Christmas trees, which is nice because a lot of times we're not thinking about, winter containers or doing that sort of thing until winter is upon us, and then it can be a little tough to find things to put in your containers. So I always love that there's a good selection. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. It's just so nice out here. I do want to say that they do not ship houseplants, so anything that you see that's plant material, they don't ship. However, since our Christmas tour, they have put a lot of the ornaments online. So we'll put a link down below if you're interested in that. But I know that when we put the video up, there was nothing online yet. So anyway, we fixed that. Okay, so we're just going to go through these doors into the new retail space, which has been so nice, you guys. All of these bagged items used to be out on the sidewalk for years and years. So it's so nice to be able to keep them clean and safe inside. They have their own designated space, and there's not as many houseplants up here as there are in the back. So we'll make our way through the front here pretty quick. But you can see down here on the floor, there's some hypoestes. This is the hippo red, which honestly, the hippo red that I have looks a lot more red than that. So this one may not have had as much light, but it still looks very healthy. It's amazing how much they can transform given the quantity of light that they get throughout the day. Really beautiful. I noticed there was a lot of mixed containers planted up together. So we've got a Dracena in there and a spider plant and a Tradescantia, all really low maintenance plants. You can see a couple more mixed planters up here and one over here. Beautiful Sansevierias. If you have a low light spot and you always kill houseplants, this is a really good one for you to try. These are really easy to care for. And you can see a few more of them hanging out right back there. They're just such a gorgeous size. They're perfect. 6-inch size container right there, and they've got really nice vertical interest. And then there are some Ficus repens right here, or repens, I don't know how you say that, but really beautiful, kind of delicate looking hanging houseplant. I love something that has kind of this beautiful, not a strict weeping, like a string of pearls or something like that, or a creeping Charlie, but it's got more of almost a fern-like kind of structure without being a fern. We've got mixed planters just kind of tucked all over. Benjamin loves this section. He always comes and gets these are watering cans. The little unicorn and the duck and all of that. He loves to come play with those. He also likes to sweep. He takes the brooms out and usually likes to help a little bit. There's more of the hippo red, which definitely has more saturated red color in it. So you can see a little bit of a difference right there. And a peperomia called Ginny. And this one's got gorgeous variegation. So you've got the green in the center, really glossy leaves, and then that cream with a pink margin. And these are tough plants, really easy to take care of. And I just noticed these this morning. I didn't even notice these the other day when I was here. Aren't those so pretty? I feel like I'm going to end up with a few of these things today. Again, this happens every time. In the windowsill up here, there's some golden pothos, little 4-inch size here. Royal Charlies. So these have more of a waffly type of appearance here. A little purple on the underside. Have little blooms too. Those are really sweet and delicate. Oh, here's one that's more fully opened. Look at that. That's gorgeous. I'm going to try to move the camera slow. I don't want to make you guys dizzy. It's just so many things to see all over. Got some ficus right down there. Really healthy looking. Some more right there. And it's already really pretty full in here even before poinsettias arrive, which is crazy. And there's some air plants right here, which I don't currently have any at our house. Really nice structure. I love how, like, the versatility, how you can just like get one and plunk it wherever you want it to go. You don't need to have like worry about a saucer or containers or any of that sort of business. Really pretty. Smaller ones, curled leaves. I used to know the names of air plants a lot better than I do now because I used to order these all the time. This is a cool one. Look at that. Tectorum clump. Kind of hairy and white. I love that. And then right down here, there is a philodendron called Congo. I bought one of these earlier on this summer, and it's doing really well. I love the boldness of the leaves, and they really do start to fill in once they mature a little bit. I mean, you can see this one, how many more leaves it has. And then as the leaves grow, they get bigger. It's really interesting. There's Marantas right here, which have beautiful variegation. Isn't that super interesting? And I love that you can use this, well, you can tuck a little kitty in if you want, but you can use them as a hanging plant or a standalone filler plant. They're just super interesting to look at. And then as we go this way, this little back section here doesn't get a tremendous amount of light. There is a door here, but that kind of just lights up the back sunroom area. The nearest door and window in this portion is right up here. So typically we don't put a ton of stuff in here. We will put a lot of poinsettias because there's a lot of floor space still where we can fill in with poinsettias, and they're never here long enough to really suffer from lack of light. There is this one beautiful mixed planter right here. And you guys, I realized I didn't show the nativity tree really close up in the Christmas tour, so real quick, we're gonna side note and I'll show you some of these ornaments really quick. I don't know how I skipped that. Isn't that a neat one? Like a little terrarium look. Manger scene. There's some really pretty colorful ones too. What does that say? Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. That's really sweet. This one's shaped like a cross, and there's a cross with a little more bling on it. We did take a look at the nativities though, so I'm gonna skip over that. All right, so now we're gonna enter the sunroom area. This is where the bulk of the plants reside because you can tell how much more light is in this whole area. And let me tell you, when I was a kid, this used to be a garage door right here, and then there was a man-sized door built into the garage. It was totally solid. It didn't allow any light in. And then this sunroom portion here wasn't there. The wall continued on where it's blue there. The wall continued on all the way over, and it was completely solid as well. So it was dark back here, and there were just shelves full of like backstock chemicals and stuff like that. And I remember I would get paid like maybe, I don't know, 20 bucks to come dust back here for the whole day. And I was always scared to be back here because it was so dark. A totally different feel now. I like it much more. All right, so we're just gonna go display by display here. This one, I think they're waiting on a few more things that are gonna be coming in because this is the snowman area. There are some cute little plates in here, but they had to leave some space open for some new things that will be coming. Right up top here, there's some beautiful Dracenas. Aren't those beautiful and just so full? I love the really strong white variegation that these have, and they don't require hardly anything. They can take like a medium light spot, medium to bright. I have some in a lower-ish light, but they just tend to, like, they don't languish, but they don't do as well. Of course, everything prefers a little tiny bit more light, but they need hardly any water, hardly any fertilizer. They're just gorgeous. There's an ivy here in this really pretty, this is a unique stone pot right here, rose rim planter. And then this one I'm not super familiar with, a green Cascade Diskidia. Is that how you say that? It's really pretty. Like, I think I maybe should take one of these home and try it out and just see what kind of experience I can get with it. Succulent oval shaped leaves, bright to moderate light. Whoa, plants can trail to 36 inches. Drought tolerant, I like that. Oh, that's interesting. It's probably super common and I just haven't even, I don't know, paid attention for some reason. Gotta love a planter with a good hairdo. String of pearls looking amazing. And then there are some red ficus right here, or burgundy, dark green, whatever you want to call it. I think they just call these as ficus species right here. But I love the depth of color here. They've got like pinkish stems underneath. These are also a really easy to care for plant. I had one of these when I was working at a bank a long time ago, and I didn't even have direct light. I had no window in my space, and this plant thrived for me. And working at a bank was my least favorite job I ever had. In fact, that was the job I had right before I started working full-time at the garden center, because it was where I learned, like, nope, I need to be outside. I need to be working with dirt and plants and not with papers. Okay, so turning to this middle section right here, huge pileas. Look at that. Like, this pilea has huge big stalks and then a ton of little babies coming out the bottom. There's some money trees right here, which typically come in kind of braided trunks there. Sorry about the light, there's a fan right above us. That's kind of, well, it's right there. Maybe we can stop those for a minute. Okay, are they slowing down yet? Maybe. We'll see if that helps. Slowing down. They're almost stopped. That's way better, isn't it? Right below, there's some Haworthias right here, which if you're just starting into succulents, this is one of the best ones that you can get, in my opinion. They are so low maintenance, so easy to care for, and they don't require a ton of light like most other succulents do. They're just so tough. There's a Sansevieria right there. Let's see what name they have. Star Power. I wish I could remember all the houseplant varieties. There's more right down there on that level. Isn't this a cool plant stand? The galvanized 3-tier right there. You could do some really cool stuff with that. Okay, let's go to the front side. There's some Ponytail Palms that look really good. They're always a really kind of neat texture because you get a lot of color variation. Peace lilies right down here, and spider plants. Oh, before we leave this area, you gotta look right here. What is this? This is a type of Echeverias, I think. What is the variety? Alpine Junior. These have a really interesting structure to them, I think. I always have the best luck with Echeverias in a pretty bright light situation. I've not grown this particular variety though. Might have to try one of these too. And here are the birds. There was a question about this big bird cage. It's kind of shrouded by stuff right now, but that big red bird cage, the guys down here like years ago built that out of scraps that we had hanging out. And there is one finch in this huge cage, but he's a bully. He doesn't accept any other birds. So he's been in here for years. I don't know where he's at though. I can hear you. Where are you? Hi, pretty birds. Hey. It's a nice peaceful morning back here, isn't it? There's some figs right there. Kind of nice to find them smaller instead of, you know, so big, because figs just are not super cheap. So when you find them in the smaller, it's really nice because they do grow quite quickly for me. And then they don't cost an arm and a leg to buy. Okay, we're gonna finish up the back side of this display here. There's some ferns right here. This is like a, I don't know if they've got this named, but I think it's Chrissy, maybe? A Chrissy bird's nest type fern. Really gorgeous. So this type of fern right here has done so well for me in our house. You know, we're really dry here. Ferns like Boston ferns never do well inside for me. They just drop their leaves. I shouldn't say never. I do have one in our house that has thrived for some reason. It likes its spot. So I just don't touch it ever. I haven't even repotted it because I don't want to mess it up. But this type right here can withstand so much more dry conditions. In fact, I planted 2 big ones in containers on our mantle. So it got like wood, you know, wood heat kind of drafts. I mean, it was right there, and they thrived for a long time. I still have them. I just repotted, took them out because I was kind of tired of seeing them there. I wanted to put something else in those pots. So they lived there for like 1.5 years, did really well. And here are some peace lilies with blooms. They're so really pretty. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish up around the bird cage area since we just saw the figs there. There's some more peace lilies in bloom. And then right below those, there are some Chinese evergreens. These are really neat. I mean, fairly common, but super easy to take care of. These are the type that you see like in offices and in living rooms for years and years and years, that they just keep on growing and thriving. Beautiful Staghorn Ferns. Oh, I really need to get more of these. I think I've got 2 in our house. but I would like to get a couple of them and mount them. Look at how beautiful. I've mounted staghorns a couple times, super easy to do. And then hanging from the bird cage, there are some philodendrons here. There's like lemon lime or something like that. There is no, sometimes they just tell you it's a philodendron and don't tell you what the exact variety name is, so it's just frustrating to me. These are definitely like a chartreusey, yellowy kind of leaf color, which is really fun. I think there was one called lemon lime or something like that. Anyway, that's what I'd call it if I named it. And then to the area that has the nutcracker themed tree, which I love so much, there's a few more peace lilies, more Staghorn Ferns, which all look really nice. Look at these. And some spider plants. And more spider plants. They have different variegations. So this one has a thinner white margin. And then this one has the white stripe down the center and has more of a curly leaved appearance. Curly leafed. Really beautiful. Okay, swinging from the nutcrackers over to the area that has the farm inspired tree that's hanging out behind that lit branch there. More peace lilies on the ground, just swinging around the base of this table, which I love this table. I don't know how I don't have this table yet. It's from Unique Stone as well. I just think the structure of it is so pretty. Look at the base. I know we're supposed to be looking at plants right now, but oh well. I like the subtlety of the design too. It's a little dirty right now, but anyway. There's some Dieffenbachias right here. Nice bright pop of white. And then we've got some fern hearts. Aren't those interesting? Look at those leaves, shaped just like a heart. I bought 3 of these this summer and they're doing okay. We've had to groom them up a couple of times because they were allowed to dry out a little bit too much. I think with these, so far in my experience, they do like to stay fairly moist. So I think this would be a really good candidate for a terrarium situation, and maybe I should move mine into that sort of thing because I can tell like the soil here they keep very damp as opposed to like these right here. They let kind of dry out a little bit in between times. So yeah, this has been an interesting learning experience, but they're kind of leathery and thick. Just really interesting. And then there's a whole pile of ferns up here. I think it would be pretty to maybe put one of these in with one of the fern hearts in a terrarium. Then there are some Sago Palms right here on the ground. Really full, really good size for the size of container they're in, I think. Look at that. There's not much back here. This is actually the darkest area in the entire store in terms of natural light because it's just tucked back. It's like this little cubby. Let me get all the way back here and I'll turn around. So you can see the natural light comes in way up there. So it just stays naturally darker. You can't really, I mean, there's some like Chinese evergreens back here, different variety, which tend to do pretty decent in low light situations right there. But we always keep our eyes on them back here and move them up the second we notice them, maybe looking like they're leaning toward the light or that sort of thing. What are you doing, Mom?
I'm looking for some ornaments that somebody wants.
Oh, nice. Which ornaments?
It's the little icicle tree, the little, that looks
like a chandelier-y looking thing?
Yeah.
It's on the golden white tree.
Oh, thanks.
Yep. And then going back up past the gnome tree right here on our left, there are some Dracena. These are called Dracena elegans. They look kind of bamboo-esque, don't they? Really, really neat looking, this trunk right here. Be pretty to do like a mixed planter of some kind and have this be like the centerpiece. Almost like a little topiary. Okay, so now we're gonna head up toward the sunnier portion up here. I did notice when I was walking around this morning this cute teapot with the cardinal. There are so many things in here that I feel like I just need to walk through a bunch of times because you see new things every time you walk through. So we're gonna start right on the other side of these stairs, which these stairs lead up to a room where we do all of the seminars, like garland and wreath seminars, and any type of class where like the weather isn't very nice. We just head up there. So there's some more Chinese evergreens right here. Good moss-covered obelisk right there with a fleur-de-lis on the top. And then, aren't these planters cool with the little terracotta pots? You could do some really neat stuff with that. There are some ferns down below, little 4-inch ferns, and a ZZ plant. So these right here are another one if you're a beginner or if like you have a job where you travel a lot or whatever, these can withstand so much abuse. These don't like a whole lot of attention. There's an Aurelia right here, has really pretty leaves, like roundish leaves, and they grow on a trunk. Hold on. Move this way so you can see the trunk here. Isn't that cool looking? And then these are a cordyline or a cordyline. I don't know how you like to say it, but Glauca is the variety right there. Just a really nice glossy deep green. You can see they make a nice little hedge right here. And right up above there is a frame planter. So see those right there, instant wall planter. It's all set up so that you can pop in whatever you like. I don't know how they're keeping this nice with ferns and succulents in the same container. But sometimes when you have something like this and you can water like very specifically, you can put water right at the base of the ferns and try to avoid the succulents, and it sometimes works if you're willing to like separate the watering. More ferns right here, Tradescantia. These are so beautiful. The purple undersides of their leaves. More Sansevierias down there, bigger ones, and another Aurelia. I'm hoping the lighting stays okay, guys. It's hard, like see that, like the little flare? It's hard sometimes when you're going into really bright areas. I got a Hoya right here. There's actually several Hoya and some cacti. And then on this shelving unit right here, well, there's a string of bananas hanging up from like a bracket up there. And then there are a few agaves, which I don't see a variety name attached to. They're really pretty though. And then this copper terrarium, which I have this terrarium at home, and it doesn't have anything in it right now. I'm loving this cactus scape. I think that's so cool looking. And then I did show you the Echeverias in our Christmas decorating tour just because, like, look at the price. $4.99 for this massive Echeveria. And then there are Sansevierias, which I'm not sure how to pronounce that variety, but Bonsal. These are completely round. Like, look at that. Completely round, like the diameter of like a penny or a nickel right there. I have one of these at home. They get kind of big. And they're just really, like, I don't know. They've got some structure, that's for sure. On the next set of shelves here, some more Sansevierias, some more Haworthias, a bunch of different sizes and shapes and varieties there. Ooh, this is a cool one. This is a Gasteria called Little Warty. These are incredibly low maintenance as well. Look at the interesting detail on the leaves. There's another terrarium here. And that one looks like a little miniature garden. Some fishhook plants right there. Ooh, and then they've got some of the things from Gardener's Supply, the galvanized flower caddies. I love mine. One of you guys sent one out to me and I love it. It's been such a fun thing to use. Pothos right down below, and some aloes. More Sansevierias back here, along with more fish hooks. And then just look at these racks full, just loaded with succulents and cacti. So I'm just gonna kind of go through slowly. I don't know the variety names of all of these, but there's some really interesting ones. Like, look at the spines on that beast. Dang. And these are the ones you have to be careful of. So they've got really long, really sharp spines, but then they've got like little tiny hair spines that if you touch that plant, those spines live with you for a long time before they come out. A selection of Echeverias down here, as well as down here, and some hen and chick sempervivums. This would be a perfect time to make a cactus scape in my terrarium. There's so many options here. I love the ones that have the little fingers. I don't know what you call those, but they're so cute. And then the ones that have the yellow spines right here are really interesting as well. They kind of have like a curve to them. Next shelf up, more cacti. This one is really interesting. Look at the, almost looks like a marbling effect on that one. And there's some Echeverias and Haworthias kind of mixed in there. Ooh, we're gonna get brighter up here. More Echeverias and cactus. They all look really healthy. And then there's a donkey's tail sedum or a burrito sedum. And there's a fern up there that's probably loving its life getting as much sun as it's getting. String of bananas hanging there. Look at this. It's just so peaceful back here. There's creeping Charlies right here. And there's Ponytail Palms all along these shelving units right here. There's some pitcher plants, carnivorous plants right here. See the little pitchers right there. I don't have the best of luck keeping those alive. I think I need more humidity, more water. I just need to pay attention to them more. And just a selection of more Sansevierias. There's aloes. We've got Philodendron called a Monstera minima right down here. Philodendron on this shelf as well. And string of beans. Those look awesome and full. Dang. Look at all of those. Wow. Now, this is a shelving unit full of beans right here. Another jade. More ferns up there and beautiful chandelier. And branches that we gathered years ago. You can kind of see them, like we use them up on top of everything. It's nice to have them just for some extra texture, and then you can hang stuff off of them as well. And then there's little 2 1/4 inch size plants right here. Echeverias and sempervivums for the most part. Some little cacti. Those are cute. Some senecio up here and kalanchoe, kalancho. That's how I used to say it, or still sometimes say it that way. Burrito sedums down here. Peperomia called pixie variegated. Not seeing variegation on them, but they are cute. Cute little plants. More burrito sedum, more philodendron, more sedum, and more aloe. Huge and beautiful. Okay, the last little place I want to look is just around this kind of pergola table display thing. So spider plants hanging up there, they're huge. Looks like more string of bananas right here. There's a fishhook plant there. See the difference? Look at that spider plant that has the curly leaves. That's a much bigger one than the ones we looked at before. And this is an illusion, right? Illusion Syngonium, and a jade right up there. Areca palms down there on the ground. They look really good, and they're completely free of spider mites. Every time, there are certain plants I look at and I'm like, oh, they're gonna attract spider mites. So I'm always happy when I find them super clean, squeaky clean, really healthy. And I don't know what the variety of this one is, but I saw it here the other day, and I think it's the cutest thing ever. The little white and pink margins, love those. Then a mixed planter right above. Some bigger cactus right down in there, more Sansevierias. Looks like there's some goldfish plants right here, which might be coming back into bloom. I see a little faint color right there. That's exciting. Oh, and I didn't notice this planter the other day either. Isn't that cool? The galvanized with the little pockets. So you can either just pop plants down in their plastic cans, which is kind of nice. You could pop it out and water it and put it back in, or you could just plant right in there. This shelving unit is full of string of bananas for the most part, it looks like. Tons of bananas in there. There is a peperomia called Nevada. It's got a very different structure than the other peperomias we've looked at. And then gorgeous string of pearls. So beautiful and full. Holy moly. Down on this shelf as well. Couldn't you guys just go nuts in here? And then on the back side of the pergola, more ferns. This is a gorgeous one. Look at that. What kind is this? What does it say? This kind of fern. It's a type of bird's foot fern. I really like that. I actually bought one of these this summer as well. There's another one right down here. A few more hanging plants. There's a Ficus repens variegated right up here. Similar to the Ficus repens up in the front of the store, except for this one has the bright white variegation. And then some more hanging plants. And I think that pretty much sums up the back room back here. So that's it, you guys. That is a tour of the houseplants. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was easy enough to see. It's a little bit hard when, you know, the light's coming in so bright over there. But it's just a fun thing to see throughout the season because it's a constant like influx of plants, and then they sell, and then there's new plants that come in, and it's never like there are some of similar things that come in, but a lot of the times you're getting new and different varieties, and so it's a really fun thing. Like every time I come down here, I feel like when I actually take the time to look through all the houseplants, every few weeks or even just once a month, I'm seeing new and different things. And it is also the time of year when we're all starting to think a little bit more about houseplants. I don't know, in my realm anyway, houseplants kind of fall off my radar during the growing season because we're so busy outside. So now that my attention is turned a little bit more toward the inside, I'm seeing these little pockets in the house where a little bit of green would look nice, or maybe I have a plant that looks like it's struggling or suffering and I need to replace it with something fresh. And so it's just fun to come and see all of this stuff. So, you know, I'm gonna probably take a couple things home and maybe some new things that I haven't tried before to get some experience. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.